Welcome back everybody to the 13th episode of Better Than Wolves. Today is gonna be a bit of a shorter episode, I think, because this is actually gonna be a bit of a tour of what I've done for the past like 80 days in Minecraft, which is like almost an entire full day in real life. And as you can see here at World Spawn, I've built quite something. You can see we have an entire farm made of planters that's basically growing almost every single crop. I think we're missing like cactuses, which I want to build today because it's gonna be an actually automatic farm and not just planting cactuses inside of the planters like this. We've also got some cocoa, and there into this cave we also have a bunch of mushrooms that are still growing. And I know this farm is not really the most efficient, they're really set up poorly, but I don't really care because they've been going for a while now, and by the time we actually start trading in full swing, we're gonna have way more than we actually need. And basically what I've did for the last 80 days has been building all sorts of farms. We have another one just over this hill, and this one, as you can see, it's the same mob farm we had back at our base. And I just built it here again. I didn't record any of this because all of this stuff I've already shown you. Both the planters and... Ooh, we've got an iron armor. Oh, that's perfect. But yeah, as I was saying, I've already shown you all of this stuff. But basically, since I've already built both the mob farm and the planter, and the one over there is another identical mob farm to this one, just in a swamp, so that we can actually farm witches. I decided to not record this because it wouldn't make any sense for me to show you. But what I want to show you from this farm specifically is this. This is the Vessel of the Dragon. We found one of these, actually two of these, in jungle temples when we went exploring. And basically what these do is store up to 30 levels of XP. I wasn't expecting to find this much inside of it, but basically we have a hopper with a filter, which is this piece of soul sand. And when you have a hopper with a soul sand filter, what it does is it takes the red orbs that the mobs drop when they die from natural causes. Basically those orbs are actually experience points, but to actually turn them into experience, we have to use a soul sand filter. And basically, since a mob farm uses a saw, all the experience comes in the form of dragon orbs, which I didn't want to place a hopper, I wanted to place a minecart. And basically that's the reason that farm can also act as an XP farm, which is extremely nice because I've been able to basically enchant all of our items with level 2 enchants. And this is also part of the preparation that we're gonna have to make for the Wither. Here, just over this mountain, I built another mob farm, and this one I'm not sure if it's actually sitting inside of the world spawn. It might be a tad too far away, but okay, it's actually working. Basically this is for witches, because witches spawn in the swamp and they drop an item which I think is called the witch ward or something like that. And that item is both gonna be useful for brewing potions, which I think increases the power, and oh wait, no, I think it increases the length, like the duration of the potion, and also for trading. So that's the reason we want to farm witches as well, and I think the glass bottles means we're actually getting some. And all the other farms we're gonna build and have built are all for other villagers as well, but basically we're both gonna use them for trading as well as we can use them for actually using the items that we get from it. Like you saw the iron armor we got from the mob farm, that's gonna be basically our iron farm, since we can smelt that down into ingots. In this episode I actually want to build 3 more farms, which is gonna be the cactus farm, a squid farm, and a venomous spider farm, or jungle spider. And in my inventory, as you can see, I've got all the items necessary, all the blocks necessary for building the jungle spider farm. And that's gonna be a source of string and spider eyes, but most importantly it's gonna be useful for farming the venomous glands, which only venomous spider drop. And to keep it short, this is all we're gonna do until the end of the dragon, because we need to farm and trade with the villagers so that we can fight the wither. And after that, we're actually gonna have to trade with, I think it's the librarian. Like, we need the priest for the wither and the librarian for the Eyes of Ender to actually fight the dragon, because you can't get them in any other way. You have to go through trading with the villagers, and I can vibe with that. But what that means for us is that we're gonna have to farm a lot. So the first thing I actually want to do in this forest is burn into the ground as much as possible, because I want to get rid of as many of the leaves as I can, because that's gonna allow more spiders in the spawn chunks to actually spawn. So we don't care about the entire thing being gone, we just need like a bit of this side of the forest to be burned down, so that we don't have too many leaves in the spawn chunks, because when we leave, everything that's outside we don't care about, but the spawn chunks are gonna be always fully loaded, so if we can have as little leaves as possible outside of the mob farm, that's gonna be a great help for us. Okay, everything is burning nice and hot, we just need to make sure not to catch on fire ourselves, but this should make things much more manageable for us, although everything has to go, you know? Yeah. Alright. I think this is gonna be enough. Like, I doubt we're gonna need to make it that much more efficient, so we can actually start lining out the place where the mob farm itself is actually gonna sit. Okay, I think this spot is actually easier to work with. So basically we're gonna have the water flowing down here for about 8 blocks. And it's basically gonna be the same as every other mob farm, except we're not gonna go up in a V-shaped pattern. The water stream actually has to be too wide. Spiders are the only mob that can spawn on leaves, so we're not gonna have to worry about it. And we're actually gonna start off with a base of wood, because no mob can actually spawn on wood. So if we place a layer of wood and then a layer of jungle leaves, only spiders are gonna be able to spawn on this. Okay, I've actually checked the wiki, and we actually just need to make the height of each platform simply to be 1. I think something like 3 to 5 layers should be enough. Okay, no, actually we're gonna make it 5 wide, and instead we're gonna make it 3 layers tall. And 3. Okay, we just need a tree stump remover to get rid of this one, but all in all, these are the platforms that we're gonna need. And now we just need to add all the vine traps, for which I don't think I have enough. Okay, we're already getting our first spawns. This wasn't accounted for. So now we have the entire farm set up properly. I think I actually want the water to go 1 layer down to place the saws, because we're gonna need to place them underneath some blocks here, because spiders tend to, you know, climb. And the saws here like these are gonna help us with actually keeping them jumping up and down. I wonder if they're gonna get stuck underneath though. These should still help them get onto the saws and without getting stuck underneath. I think this works. And under here we're simply gonna place the hoppers. Also guys, just to be clear, all of this that you're seeing, you know, all of these farms, all of this stuff that I farmed, all of these XP levels, all of these items, it may look like me showing it off to you in like 5 minutes is really short, but if you look at the days count from the last episode to this one, you can see it's been like almost about 20 hours. And all I've done in the past 20 hours offline has been building all of this stuff. So you can see that this mod really wants you to focus on farming these items in the late stage of the game, because actually farming for these would take, I don't even want to dare say how many hours it would actually take, but if building the farms that do it automatically for you all at the same time takes so much, you can only imagine how long it would take to farm all of this crap manually. So if you enjoyed this type of content and want to see more of it, make sure to leave a like, a comment and subscribe, because this takes a lot of time. Although I gotta say, our efforts are really starting to pay off now. Oh, you love to see it. This farm is gonna pay its weight in iron. Oh no! Our dog is going rabid because we forgot to feed it. Here, buddy. Is it not enough? Wait, can I give you like more food to calm you down, or are you just gone? Where are you, buddy? No, it started attacking me too. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, that's so sad. Man, I didn't want to actually lose my dog. I was so sure that even if it did go hungry, we could have just fed it. Man. I didn't even get to give him a name. This mod really doesn't like wolves, does it? But okay, losing our wolf aside, rest in peace. What I actually wanted to show you by coming here is that we finally have most of the items that we're gonna need to trade with the villagers, like for example the glow dust or blocks of bone, which are actually made with a piston crushing 9 bones together into a block. And okay, that's insane. Okay, creeper heads. Basically, I've leveled up a couple of our villagers here, the farmers as well, so that we have more options to actually get emeralds. And the objective here is these two people, because once we get both of them to level 4, they are both going to give us different items. Do you only give like projectile protection? Like, it's nice and all, but I would very much prefer if it was like explosion, like blast protection. And I think we might actually be able to get the priest up to the next level in the next few trades. So if we're actually kind of lucky, we might be able to get him right now. That would be quite something. Or not, you could still be asking for random stuff I don't have. That's cool. Okay, that's better. Oh! Okay, he wants a ruined school. I thought it was like ruined, but a ruined school. We could either get the butcher to level 4 and trade for it, or we could go farm for it in the nether. And our butcher is currently level 3. It wouldn't be out of this world to get him to level 4 before actually get this school. And I think that's also safer than going back into the nether to farm for schools, because I already went to farm for gas and that was terrifying. So I would rather avoid that if possible. Okay, so the next few objectives are gonna be finishing the spider farm, and then we're gonna get the butcher to level 4, and then we're gonna trade for a rune school. And once we actually get them to level 4, I'm just gonna do the grinding off camera to actually farm all the necessary stuff for fighting the wither, such as the potions, as well as actually getting the necessary items. And we're actually being pretty lucky with our trades. And also, as you can see here, I've actually made a new storage area, because the one in the tower over there was getting extremely cramped. I couldn't do everything in a single double chest for each item. I was considering like repurposing our house to become a shed, but I kind of like the idea of actually having, you know, a house, and I think it's best to have a deposit near the villagers, so that we don't have to travel so much to grab the items like we're doing right now. Imagine if we had to go all the way there and back just to grab like a flint and steel. Okay, and I think with the next trade, which we can craft, I think we're actually gonna be able to get the butcher to level 4. And that means we actually don't have to go look for a beast, because I was really trying to avoid that. I was like, please, please, please let me find a way to actually get to that point without having to go out and look for a wolf or either a beast to actually finish this. But Luckily we didn't have to. All we're missing is some rope, which we should have inside the millstone. And I don't remember what the level 4 trade for the butcher was. Oh wait, I think I do actually remember. Let me know if it's that one. Okay, yeah, it's the breeding harness. Well, good thing we've got a bunch of leather lying around. I don't want to interact with this, so we're just gonna go trade it with the villager, and that's gonna be it. Okay, there it is. Rune School. For a simple 6 emeralds and a skeleton school, of which we have more than plenty, so that's perfect for us. 1, 2, that's a rune school. And we can also trade like carrots for more emeralds. We can also get our priest to level 4. And yeah, so the infused school is actually what's gonna allow us to fight the wither. We can't use the simple rune schools, we actually have to use these ones. And so all that's left for us to do is actually go farm a lot of emeralds and a lot of preparation. Okay, let's actually start building something, because we took almost the entire day and we still haven't started actually building on the farm. And today is a gloom night too, so I can't even like push through the night. We actually have to go to sleep. Okay, now let's actually go back to building this thing. Now for the roof. Okay. I think this should be enough. And now, in theory, all that we're missing now is just bringing power to all the items in here. Okay, I think these should be quite enough. And now everything should be working. And now what I also want to do is actually close off these sides, because I don't know if spiders can crawl through them. And also these parts here, because I don't want the light to get in. So ideally we should have no open spots. And instead, underneath here, we're gonna mine our way to iron. No, I'm joking. But simply to the chest that we're actually gonna place here. So I'm just gonna go craft it real quick. Oh wait, do you wanna see something fun? Whee! Oh man, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, so now if everything goes as expected, I should just be able to place a chest here. And in the next few days, we should start getting a bunch of spider drops from this farm. But regardless of if it works or not, it's gonna take a few days to actually start seeing some results, or at least one, I guess. And now I want to start preparing the cactus farm, which is gonna sit somewhere around here. We just need some water to make it work, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I've got all the items that we're gonna need for the cactus farm, which is basically just gonna be a bunch of planters and fences, just to basically keep the cactuses growing. And once they reach the second like growth stage, have the fences, break them like they do in vanilla. It's the same exact process. And I brought 4 hoppers because I don't actually plan to use a chest to store the cactuses, because I don't want to create another water wheel and system of axles and gearboxes, because I think that's kind of a waste, and also we'll be fine with keeping like 4 hoppers of items full at any given moment. So I just want to build a simple 5x5 of planters here. Okay, and now we just want to basically dig a hole that's just gonna allow the water to basically flow and gather all of the items, all of the drops into this corner right here. Okay, so from this side we're actually able to get a proper water source that goes as far as possible into the farm. And now we just need to dig the second layer. And now we're just missing the last one. And here I'm already going to plant the hoppers, or place I guess. And that's basically our gathering system. And now we just need to lower some of the planters because, as you can see, unless the water is directly under the planter, they are not going to get hydrated. And okay, it seems that only this row is gonna be actually hydrated, so the second part here we're gonna have to lower. And I think I'm just gonna place some hoppers, yeah, right, some planters underneath. No, not like this. And I think these three are the last few that we actually need to lower. I think those two are gonna get watered pretty soon. And I'm just trying to make sure that every single planter has a fence beside it. And I think they do. So we can actually start planting some cactuses so that we can actually make sure that everything is gonna be growing properly. And I think it's time to leave because we are starting to get shot at. So let's lower these three too. And with this we should be done. In theory, if I didn't miss a fence somewhere, all of them should be... No, we got a creeper as well, alright. In theory, all of them should be able to grow. We might miss some, like if this one gets full and it somehow doesn't go through to this one, it's just gonna stay there and despawn. But as you can see, we've got plenty of room to store stacks. So, and since we're gonna have more than we'll ever need, I think we don't really need to care about it that much. Okay, we've already got our first cactus growing, and I think we should make something like a bit of a stair here to actually reach. Okay, maybe not like this. Yeah, it's already starting to produce cactuses. Okay, we've built the second farm of the three that we're gonna build today. So now it's time to move on to the third one, which is gonna be the squid farm. This one is gonna be fairly simple as well. We're just gonna need a body of water that's like 8 by 8 inside, at least. And we're also gonna need a lot of vine traps. And I think it's something we can build here, actually. Yeah, I think this works, because this should be something like... Yeah, this thing already is an 8 by 8, so we can just like close the nearby water bodies off and just use this as the squid farm. So now we just need to prepare all the blocks that we're gonna need to build this one as well. Alright, I've got all the materials that we're gonna need to actually make this farm. It's a really cheap farm to actually make because you only need like a stack of blocks and a stack of vine traps and a single hopper, and the real work is gonna be mining out the hole underneath this body of water, because this is where the squids are gonna spawn, and the wood here is just to keep the water from flowing down while we mine. And we're basically gonna go down like 8 blocks or so. I think 7 from the wood, so 8 in total from the sources. And basically we are just going to go down 8 blocks from the source, so that means that's 1 and 2 with the wood, and now this would be the first block, this is the second, and that's 8. So let's start making a staircase to actually get out immediately, because otherwise this is gonna get annoying really quickly. Okay, that's 8 blocks, that's the first line of our farm, so now we just need to go out 8 blocks for each row. Alright, I've mined out the entire area, and now all we need to do is place vine traps on top of the second block from the bottom. And I'm gonna leave a row, or maybe let's remove the torch before it catches on fire. But basically, I'm just leaving one row off to let the water flow inside of this part, so that we can have a water flow going in this direction. And here we're then gonna make another row that's instead going to basically come down from here, and this is gonna bring the squids to basically a pocket of air that's gonna kill them. So now we can try it out by removing the wood. Actually, I think it's best if we do it from the top instead of down here. I don't want to have so much water falling on me. So if everything goes correctly, we should soon start to see the water coming down the little canal that we made. And there we are simply going to place one more vine trap to keep the water from flowing over the hopper, and then a hopper simply to collect all of the drops from the dying squids. Yeah, okay. As you can see, the water is flowing down here into this canal area. And here it's stopping, so we need to go down one more so that we can place a vine trap. And I think, oh, actually, underneath we should place the hopper. And then a vine trap to keep the water out. And I think this is enough. We just need to actually close this off because we don't want the squids ending up here. So, basically, the squids are gonna spawn in this 8x8x8 block of water that we made up here after this, and then we're also gonna need to cover the roof so that it's always dark. They're gonna fall through the vine traps and they're gonna come downstream up to the hopper. Here they're gonna suffocate to death because there's not gonna be any water, and the drops are gonna get into the hopper. To actually reach the loot, we can simply make a staircase that goes up from beside it. Okay, so now we just need to close off this area as well. Hopefully this is gonna be enough to have the squids start spawning. And now we just need to cover the entire thing on top as well. And now we just need to cover this with cobblestone just to make sure a random lightning doesn't destroy everything. So that should be hopefully enough. And that's the squid farm. So it's completed now. Hopefully it's gonna start producing a lot of ink sacs and glands. Instead, the cactus farm is actually starting to produce quite a bit. So that's great. Let's go check just for good measure that there's actually no spiders in the spider farm. And no, there isn't. So yeah, I think I'm gonna spend the next few days going around burning the entire forest down, and then I'm gonna check underneath this surrounding area for caves that have too many mobs inside of them. Hopefully the squid farm is actually going to work. It would be a real pain if two out of the three farms that we made today won't work. But alright, I think for today is gonna be all. As I've told you guys, this was gonna be a bit of a shorter one, considering we just built 3 farms, as well as traded with the villagers a bit. But basically, that's all we were missing to, I think, approaching the end of the game. I do want to build a gold farm, but I don't even know if that's possible. I haven't seen any design online, but if that happens to be an actually possible to make farm, I'm gonna show it to you in the next episode. But if not, regardless, the next episode is gonna be an extremely important one, because we are actually going to fight the Wither. All the farms that we built between this episode and the last one are all gonna be used for trading as well as for making potions. Potions are gonna be the actual important part for the fight with the Wither, because without them we are basically dead. We have no way of regenerating our health outside of golden apples and potions of regeneration, as well as health potions, and all of these require materials that we're farming in these different farms. As I said, the only one we're missing is a gold farm to make golden apples, but I'm going to come up with something. We can at least try to get a looting sword with smite and go farm piglins in the nether. That's at least something we can do. But other than that, yeah, basically there's nothing between us and the Wither right now outside of preparing the potions and enchanting our gear properly with smite and blast protection. Because other than that, we are basically set. That's gonna be a big step forward in progress, and I can't wait to try my hand at it. But as I said, that's gonna be for the next episode. For this one, as always, I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. So the squids should